and we are live on 12 Ounce Sports Radio, and we are live on 12 Ounce Sports TV. If you want to go on over to the live TV app on 12ouncesportsradio.com, we are brought to you by Event Tickets, and you can find that on 12ouncesportsradio.com. You are listening to Talking Hogs Live. I'm Ian, and he's my beautiful co-host and a beautiful Arkansas Red, Jesse and
What's up?
David. What's up, guys?
What's up, partner?
I'm wearing the gray because I don't like standing out like that.
Yeah, I almost had to agree myself.
Yeah, this gray kind of goes with everything, so I can wear it all the time.
Well, it's the debut of the Wizard. I've never
What's
been
up,
on this
brother?
show before.
You.
Have I called in? I called in once before.
No, you were
No,
actually.
you stood in for me one time.
You stood in for Ian once.
I did, didn't I?
Yeah, I'm gonna need you to do that a couple. Well, this week I will be here all week long. You got me 5 days in a row, just like you have Loudbeard, Chris America, and the Mac, Mr. Golden Mike himself, on 12 Ounce Sports Radio in the mornings. They're on at 5 a.m. Central Time, 6 a.m. Eastern, and also replay at 9 and 10 a.m.
Matt called and said you better put some respect on his name. That's Saint Urban.
Yeah.
Hey, but 12 Ounce Sports Radio is doing big things. This is our relaunch. You probably heard us before, but again, it's Talking Hogs. We're going to be doing mostly hog stuff, but occasionally we'll get into what's going on in college football, mainly the SEC. But
And then since it's an Arkansas-based show, we can get away with a little bit of our local team with the Reddies once in a while.
maybe.
Yeah.
Every once in a while.
If they got any, we'll be talking, and then I'm sure we'll be at some point looking out of our peripheral at the high school scene.
Yeah.
Just to see what's going on and the players that have committed that are playing in Arkansas, like Traylon Burks. I saw something on him the other day.
He balled out and didn't play all.
Marcus Miller did too.
Yeah. He played a little bit on offense, but it was so hot that they were playing a day game, wasn't it?
I think so.
And
Yeah, it was early in the day. I think.
He had like 9 tackles and he was all over the field on defense. But he only had 3 catches because they weren't able to play both ways. But when it cools off and he plays both ways, that kid is a monster.
You remember the last kid that played both ways that we got? You remember who it was?
You talking about crap? What's his name? Agim?
Mm-hmm.
Agim was a monster at home.
Petway did too.
He calls Texarkana home, but he went to high school in Hope.
Yeah.
He was stupid. He was returning kickoffs for touchdowns.
Yeah.
And he's a defensive tackle.
Now, that's better than when I was in high school. We had our defensive guy who was our kicker. It was so funny to watch this 300-pounder. He kicked, don't get me wrong, but on kickoffs, you just see this.
Oh, yeah. Because sometimes you end up sticking like your center or something out there just because they can kick far.
Right.
Because sometimes in high school, it's not exactly straight. You just want to kick far. Like, kick it in there and so, okay, coach, I got you.
Yeah,
apparently Arkadelphia has a kicker that can kick the ball into the back of the end zone.
Well, I'm pretty sure ever since I left, Arkadelphia has always been going and get the best soccer player.
Right.
Which makes perfect sense. Hey, I want you. You don't have to run. You don't have to do anything. All you got to do in practice is sit there and kick field goals on the main field. Okay, coach, I'll do it.
Sounds good to me. Game week, fellas.
Oh, yeah, it's game week. I'm excited.
This week? I'm just kidding. Yeah, man, I'm ready. College football, especially the Razorbacks, are starting this week. Trust me, I should be able to tell you today because all of my faithful followers on Twitter, my Razorbacks fans, have been letting me know for like the last 2 weeks the number of days until the season starts. So we are, six days away? Five days away? Oh, 6 days would be Sunday. We play on Saturdays.
Yep.
Did y'all see real quick the video on Twitter of Chad Morris showing he got these 3 guys and he's like, hey, what if these other guys go down and these 3 guys need to hold? And so they come out there, they do the hold, and the guy kicks the field goal. He's like, good, because all 3 of these dudes are on scholarship now. That was awesome.
That was awesome.
And
that would have been Grant Morgan.
So give me just a second. I'll pull the
Connor
video up.
Limpert, our kicker, and
what's his name?
What was his name? It's that older guy. The guy that was like an older guy.
I know who you're talking about. I just don't remember his
played
name.
baseball for a while, but
All right, I'm about to pull the
I
video
like
up.
that those 3 I like that those three actually got put on scholarship, and I love the way that they did it. Like, like Marty Smith said,
You have to be ready. That's why we practice. Hold on.
did not know you had that audio ready, but okay, go ahead.
Oh, no, keep talking. I'm not ready.
But it's like what Marty Smith said, in his quote of that tweet. You gotta love these these kind of announcements like that, the way that people do them, because those are, especially for guys that are trying to earn a scholarship while already being on campus, that means everything to those kids.
Well, you also saw how the team reacted too, and so I kind of
Right.
got not into it, but me and Jimmy from What's Up Sports kind of got, but not talking about our NFL conversation, but had a conversation, and he made the comment, "Best coach since Petrino." The one thing I've always said about Petrino is yes, Petrino can coach offense, but if you ask Jarius Wright, if you ask Greg Childs, they will tell you it was a nightmare playing for that man. Listen, I want Arkansas to win as many games as possible, and at the end of the day, Chad Morris is going to be judged on wins and losses. That is the reality of the business.
Sure.
But it is nice to see, and I didn't see as much of this from Bielema. And Bielema was a good guy. He just didn't get the wins, right?
Yes.
Bielema wasn't a bad dude. We liked Bielema. He was funny. Chad has brought this energy, this excitement, and from what everyone I've heard coming from SMU and Clemson that has talked about this hire is authenticity. Like, the person that you see in the interviews is the person that you see with the players, and that's why I hope that throughout the season we'll get players on to tell us had to have firsthand experience. So, yes, I want Chad Morris to do well with the wins and losses, and that's how he's going to be judged. But let's also take time to understand that in the NCAA, it is also about building men. And that's why no matter what Herm Edwards does at Arizona State, I think he's a great hire for that program because you know what you're getting on that side.
You know how easy it is he's going to have when he walks in a living room and it's going to we play to win, but.
It just shows you that it makes a huge amount of difference between a guy like Bielema, who is laid back, a good guy, but he's laid back and just kind of goes at it like casually, like
Right.
goes about the job casually.
Yeah.
Chad Morris took it as a profession.
Yeah.
From the moment he stepped in the door, from the way he dresses to the way he talks about the program to the way he conducts business, like it's been all business from the start. Like it's never with him. It's never been, it's like laid back. All this, he's busting his ass day in day out to the T.
And his assistant coaches follow suit. They're exactly the same way.
My bigger point would be this. So, I always use examples to illustrate my points. Y'all know that. So you have two sides of the spectrum on our last two head coaches. You had Petrino, who is more of like a Saban-esque, but I'm not saying Saban mystery is player, but you have the guy that's all business. I am in charge of the program, not personable with my players. Now, I'm not saying that Saban
like Belichick.
Like Belichick. Like, this is a business. This is a job. That's it. You have the Bielmas where, hey, and to an extent like Mike Tomlin, hey, listen, we're going to be laid back. I'm the full players coach, Jason Garrett. Chad Morris seems to be a perfect Dabo Sweeney, who's also this.
That's exactly what I was
wonder where he gets it from.
I wonder where, right? Yes, Chad Morris is all business, but he relates to his players. It's not like you can't let the players run the program. People may say that in a way, but it's like if you're a teacher in a classroom.
That's how you end up like Florida.
Yes. And this isn't a knock Urban Meyer session, but when you let the players be in charge, that's what your job as coach is, to be in charge. Now, Chad seems to have this gift to where he's a great motivator. He's great with X's and O's. He is in charge of the program. There is no doubt who is in charge, but his players love him because there's four things right there that you need. You're in charge. Your players respect you. Your players love you. And discipline. And that's what I think a lot of programs lack. Yeah, you can have all the discipline in the world, but if your players hate you, they won't play for you. On the flip side, your players can absolutely love you. If they have no discipline, you're not in charge.
Yeah.
Like I said, look at Florida. I mean, that's kind of the same thing that's been going on with them ever since Spurrier left.
Right. And you have a player like Zeke that can come out after a game and say, we should have ran the ball more. And the coach is like, yeah, he's right. Look, was Ezekiel Elliott wrong in saying that? Absolutely not.
But I'm shutting them down right there.
Yeah,
Like, you're
hey,
not going to talk out like that.
It's about us, not about you. I'm not knocking Zeke here, okay?
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm a Zeke guy, but you're not wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, even at the pro level, you can't do that, but in college, you definitely can't do
Right.
But that's one thing I can say though. We never had that. Like, whenever we had Bielema running his style of offense with like multiple running backs every year, you could very, very easily see a guy becoming vocal about it and being like, "Well, I need more carries. Why am I not getting more carries?" You never.
They sent me.
What the hell are you doing? It's like, it's like you know, you could very easily in a situation like that have people complaining about not getting the ball enough or not having the ball, getting enough carries and that kind of thing. But we never did see that, which I'm glad for, because we never had to deal with that kind of drama.
Yeah.
And I don't see that ever being a problem with Chad either. Like, he's being as, like you said, his background comes from being a high school coach. He's personable that way. Like, he knows how high school kids, or young kids, I should say, are going to be able to handle certain situations compared to a guy that, you know, he came straight out of football and like went straight into coaching, like as an assistant, like a GA or something, straight into college and never experienced the high school coaching level. It's a whole different ball game. Because if you with guys that coached high school football first in some form or fashion, in some variety, they're going to be more personable for players. Like
there's one exception to that rule.
There's going to be cases where situations you run across with young kids, for some people are going to be able to handle it better than a guy that didn't have to deal with that and went straight into being a GA first.
The one guy that I felt an exception to this, and Arkansas fans will love me for saying this because y'all hate this dude, Gus Malzahn.
I think he's great with players.
Is he great with players? Because he's terrible with the media and with other coaches. And this is from inside sources that I've seen. Now, Gus can coach football, don't get me wrong. Gus can coach. That's not a question.
There's a reason why he gets the recruiting classes he gets.
Okay, I mean, that's what I'm saying. I'm willing to be wrong on that, but and a guy like...
That plays a big... Yes, it's because it's Auburn for one thing, and yes, it's the SEC. It plays a big part, but but in my opinion, the biggest thing... Now, don't get me wrong. I don't like Gus, but I don't like Gus the coach, though. Like, Gus as a man, Gus the person, Gus is a good guy. Like, he's really, really good with players.
Ask.
Why do you think back whenever Gus was an assistant at Arkansas, why do you think we got pretty much all those Springdale players?
Because I think we got those players because
they wanted to play for their coach.
I also think that players sometimes, players are different, right? Every player doesn't want the same thing, right? So you'll have guys that will go play for a Saban, that'll play for a Petrino because they know they can coach, right? They know, hey, this guy's going to put me in the best position to get to the NFL. We weren't sending multiple receivers in the draft before Petrino. You have other guys who are saying, hey, look, I want a coach that I can relate to. And then you got guys that say, I want a coach that's going to let me do whatever I want. You kind of want the guy that wants both. I want to be coached, but I don't want my coach to be a tyrant either. I don't want to be terrified of my coach.
See, you were talking, that just reminded me, because you said earlier you think that Chad reminds you so much of Dabo, which I agree with that. Another one that he kind of reminds me of, Mike Gundy.
Yeah,
I like that.
He reminds me a lot of Mike Gundy too, because I think the way that Chad, the way that Dabo, the way that Gundy, the way that
was Art Briles this way before we found out all the bad stuff about the program?
Not well,
because players are like.
I don't want to talk about Art Briles. Mullen, I think Mullen's kind of that way too.
Okay, that's good.
And to a lesser extent, maybe he's not as adamant with like being doing things with players after the games, like celebrating wise and all that. But you know, I feel like he's a good players coach too.
And the thing about
you have to be doing something right to be able to get players like that to come to Mississippi State.
The thing that I guess my bigger point about Chad Morris is why I like him so far is, and this is the only reason, my only knock on Gundy, and I like Gundy a lot, and I think Gundy has grown since that I'm a man, I'm 40. It feels like Chad Morris is in control of his emotions. Guys like Brian Kelly at Notre Dame, hothead. Petrino lose his mind. Saban does sometimes, but Saban is so big in that university that he can and when you've won 5 national championships at Alabama and you don't physically or abuse your players, then Saban can be that guy. But all coaches are different. I like Chad as players coach. I'm in charge and I control my emotions. Now let's see if his X and O's will translate to the SEC. I think they will. But
People have to be patient, man.
Speaking of X and O's, I have some. Hopefully, I can get them to work. Some highlights I pulled up, and kind of want to talk about which ones translate. We saw one earlier, and you'll probably see it week 1 because we might have problems with the offensive line. The sprint out, simple comeback, and a simple flag route. Easy receiver combos that make easy throws for either Cole or Ty, and you'll see it'll translate really easy. I mean, maybe the players aren't the same, but just picture the calls. You're going to see the same
From the
plays.
stuff that you showed me earlier before the show, like, that just looks like perfect for Ty Story.
I agree.
I mean, the way that those plays set up, I think that's way more suited for Ty Story. Than Cole Kelly. Like, just being honest. Like, if it was a prototypical just like throw the ball 40 times a game, then yeah, I would probably say it would be Cole Kelly. Like, because he's more stable enough to be able to withstand passing that many times in a game from a physical toll.
Yeah.
But with the way that Chad's offense runs, and the way that he has to be able to be mobile and be able to move around a little bit in the pocket, you need a guy that can do that. Like, I'm not saying that Cole can't, but I think Ty Story, and to a lesser extent Dalton Hyatt, like, even him, they're more suited for this offense.
He might see some playing time in game 1 if Cole goes out there and falls flat on his face.
And Razorback fans need to realize Chad got this job, and I love the fact that we just refer to him as Chad. But and thanks for Chad actually follows us on Twitter. I don't even know your name.
That's a fake.
Oh, that's a fake. Well, someone find me the real Chad Morris Twitter account. Does he have one?
Yeah, he does.
One,
and it's awesome.
Okay.
But that was a parody account.
There's a lot of those.
Yeah, you can't ever tell because I hate parody accounts. But my point is, Arkansas fans, remember, Chad got this job in December?
Yep.
Wait till we get the players. I mean,
we're not even. You realize that we're not even a full year in, and we already have, we're not even a full year into his first.
Hadn't even coached a snap.
He hadn't coached a single game, and we have more 4-stars in our recruiting class than we've had in the last 10 years.
This might be the best recruiting class ever.
Very easily.
Like this one coming in next
year, yes.
Right, and that's my point to Arkansas fans is I see all this 8-9 wins, and look, 6 wins, I'm happy.
Yeah,
now, it's how we play. How does the program look like? How does the product on the field look? Wins, losses, throw those out the window. Now, mind you, depth this year is going to be a problem. But let's see what the product on the field looks like, and does it look... This is my thing. Fourth quarters. What do the fourth quarters look like? Because that became the hallmark of Bielema's teams is we looked great in every first quarter.
Me and you used to get in so many arguments with this A&M fan, and then finally we saw it, and we were like, oh, we've been blindfolded. Like, this is bad.
Because early on in his tenure, they were losing a couple of close games. And then after the Virginia Tech bowl game, when I saw that and the team, and then I was like, okay, now there's a pattern here. I don't remember which A&M fan. Was that Brett?
Yeah, I'm Brett.
Yeah. Which, shout out to Brett if you're ever listening. We disagree on everything, but Brett knows his stuff. So, absolutely, I want to see what the game's finish looking like and how the players respond to adversity because there's going to be a lot of it. We get Alabama, LSU at home. Helps. We're going to lose those games most likely. I think we can beat... Hold on before you are. I think we can beat LSU.
Okay.
Hold on.
They have more talent.
While we're on this...
They have more talent. But I don't think they're better coached than we are.
We went through the schedule,
I've got it pulled up already.
I'm pulling it up for me.
Well, oh yeah, because you can't see it over here because you on the other side of the room, man.
Yeah, it looks cool though. But we were gonna go. We went through it last week and kind of were like, well, we could. I could see where we could get on a little roll.
I could also see right in the middle of the schedule where we could go on a losing streak too.
That's what I'm saying. Like the middle of the schedule, there's 5 games right after Alabama where those are you've got to play well. All right, you got Eastern Illinois, North Texas, or Colorado State, North Texas. Well, Colorado State's defense is garbage. Did you see what Hawaii stats put up this weekend? 500 and something yards passing. One receiver had over 100 yards receiving on 11 catches.
But Hawaii's always been a big passing offense in my
500 yards?
You don't remember. I don't know if y'all. I'm not saying you don't remember.
Brennan?
This. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Colt Brennan was dope. I'm saying 500 yards.
It's on the road. I think we should win it, but
it makes me feel better. I'll put it that way.
Feel better. First road game of the year, too.
We both said last week, we were like, that's the toughest non-conference game. And it's like, okay, no, never mind. I think it's North Texas.
Yeah.
Even though SMU beat North Texas by like 25 last week.
There's no reason we should lose in North Texas.
No, I didn't say that.
No.
Same
about Tulsa.
If we lose in North Texas, Chad,
if we lose any non-conference games, we're in trouble.
I don't know anything about Tulsa.
Tulsa's going to be our even more than
SMU beat them too.
Like even more than Eastern Illinois last year. Not last year.
I mean, let me just say this: there's 2 games on our schedule that SMU played last year, and they won both games by 3 touchdowns.
Oh, I'm not gonna say it. SMU beat Tulsa because 10 other teams beat Tulsa last year.
Yes,
so.
I mean,
okay, yeah, that's right. They were awful last year.
They were god awful. Like that's the game that I really think that you're gonna be able to see. Like, where is that? That's our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th game. We're gonna have Vandy, LSU, Mississippi State, and Missouri.
I think the Tulsa game is gonna kind of like
that's gonna be our game to be able to get some guys some reps, but then have them be able to rest. Have them be able to most of the starters and the majority of the second team guys they're gonna get chances to rest. Because that's going to be our cake game, and I think that's going to be what we need to propel us to the last half of the season.
Yeah, I agree. Because look at this: you got the 3 non-conference games to start the year. Think you start 3-0. Jesse, what do you think? 3-0 first non-conference?
I think so.
Okay, so then you go to Auburn, Then you go to Arlington to play A&M. Then Alabama comes to town. That's my birthday, and I'm gonna be sad. And then Ole Miss comes to town. Tulsa comes to town. Vanderbilt comes to town. LSU comes to town. When I say Ole Miss comes to town, they're going to Little Rock.
Yeah.
And you run those 5 games in a row. You win all 5 of those games, you're sitting pretty. You win 3 of those games, you're still sitting pretty good.
Yeah, so there's 4 non-conference games, which we should win all 4 of those.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Then say the Ole Miss, Vanderbilt, LSU, and Missouri are all
Because Mississippi State is probably, it's in Starkville. That's a lot to ask. And
now, who they played the week before.
Here's what I'll say. I'll say if our secondary proves what it's claiming itself to be now, I see us beating Missouri. Like, the only thing that scares me about Missouri is their pass game.
Because Drew Lock is
a monster.
Yeah.
Good.
But
we have 3 players on our team, I think, in the secondary that could be all SEC.
Now, if we can keep everybody in that secondary healthy this year, we're winning 7-8 games.
Because Ryan Pulley, Cameron Curl, and
Santos
Santos are all really, really good.
I don't think 8 games is crazy. I just don't think 8
I'm not going to guarantee. There's the thing. I hate 8 as the expectation. Do I think we could win 8 games? Absolutely. This is not a hard schedule. Outside of Alabama, there's 4 games that I think are going to be really tough. Alabama, A&M,
Auburn,
at Mississippi State, and at Auburn. The other 8 games are all easy. No, I'm not going to say easy.
They're winnable.
Mostly easy and winnable. 4 of them are easy.
There's 2 of them that I think help us. Freeze is no longer at Ole Miss.
Yes.
And that program, we'll see where it goes and what the impact of the investigations are. And Shea Patterson's gone. I think that helps. And
Mississippi
LSU, now I'm sure they have talent around the board, but that situation there looks like Orgeron could be out very soon if he does not win 9 games this year.
You kind of led into the
I said his name right?
Yeah,
Orgeron or whatever.
Orgeron.
Mr.
You kind of led me into. I had to pull up, I believe, on our regular Rehab Sports Guys page of who's on the hotter seat. Ed Orgeron. Oh crap.
Tom Herman.
Yeah, Tom Herman and Jim Harbaugh. Like, who's on a bigger hot seat? And my wife. But Tom Herman's on a pretty big hot seat. But I think it comes down to Harbaugh. I think Harbaugh might be on the bigger. Harbaugh and Orgeron. It just depends.
Harbaugh because Michigan expects more than what they should.
More than LSU.
Michigan,
LSU ain't surviving 6-6 again. He's gone. If he don't win 8-9 games this year, he's gone.
But here's the thing. I see what he's saying though. We're saying two different things. If Orgeron goes 6-6, he's gone. If Harbaugh doesn't win the division,
doesn't beat Ohio State.
Yeah, because Michigan fans are nuts, and Harbaugh hasn't had a quarterback. Now this year it looks like he has one.
Yeah, Shea Patterson won't miss.
I'm not. Listen, let me see how he plays with Michigan. I don't take how you played with one team and then that determines how you're going to play with another team. We see that in the NFL. We see it in college. Herman's not on the hot seat for a simple reason. Unless these allegations are deeper than we know. And let me tell you why. There's only been one coach in the history of Texas football that didn't get 4 years. His name was Charlie Strong. And I'm not going to say for reasons that the conspiracy theorists want to say, but Charlie Strong got 3. Every other coach has gotten 4+. Herman's in year 2. Now, next year, if Texas defense gives up 40 to Maryland, and there's no way that should happen because they're a dumpster fire because of they
need to fire their coach.
Their dictator head coach.
I see how you're leading into all these things I want to talk about.
Yeah, I don't mean to do that because we don't. I'm in school, guys. I didn't even plan this, but I've been waiting to get on the show and talk about this. If Orgeron loses to Arkansas this year and goes 6-6, he's out. In fact, if they start slow, I'm not surprised if they get wind of a big time coach maybe leaving a program through however people get this information. Because a lot of times when they fire a coach mid-season, these programs have already talked to people and have ideas of what's going on in the landscape. So if they find out someone's not happy somewhere, like, there's a thing going around about Urban Meyer might be in his last year at Ohio State because now he doesn't feel like the president has his back. He doesn't think he should be suspended. So let's say LSU starts 0-4. And then they probably won't, but let's say they start 0-3 in the SEC.
Ooh,
they about to run Orgeron about the paint.
Mad. You know how mad Florida fans will be if he come back to the SEC?
They might call Les Miles back. Think about the success Les Miles had at LSU. Yeah, he didn't beat Alabama the last couple years. He won a national championship and went to a second one.
Is there any LSU alums that are out there? I don't know of any.
LSU alums?
Yeah, they're just out there. I don't think so.
Are you talking about like as coaches?
Yeah.
I mean, unless Booger wants to try to coach. Did he go to LSU?
Marcus Spears.
Marcus Spears.
Oh, you know who will replace Harbaugh if he gets fired?
At Michigan?
Yeah, Les Miles.
Oh yeah, I'm surprised
remember
they
that
didn't get the job
conspiracy
the
theory
first
in
time.
like 2007, right before they hired a Harbaugh? No, that was too far back. Who'd they hire?
Would they hire a Michigan State guy to coach Michigan though?
No.
Because he coached at Michigan State before he coached
He
LSU.
went to
I'm glad
Michigan.
you said Michigan State. Do you
Went
think
to
D'Antonio
He was an offensive
is
lineman
on
at
a hot
Michigan.
seat?
D'Antonio? No.
He was an assistant at Michigan twice. He played offensive line in Michigan for 2 years.
Why would he be on the hot seat? He made the college playoff like 2 years ago, and Michigan State doesn't have the expectations Michigan has.
State.
Shit, they're all about to leave.
And
all
the thing
the
about
coaches.
D'Antonio is he'll probably retire soon because of his health, right?
They all want to retire because
Their
of that
biggest-
doctor scandal.
Yeah, but their biggest time of success has been under D'Antonio.
Yeah.
They
Dang,
went to
back to-
they went to the college football playoff out of nowhere. Now they got drummed by Alabama, but come
Yeah.
on, like
Everybody gets drummed by Alabama. Well, not
and they're in
everybody.
the toughest division. Now, if Michigan State fans end up being as crazy as Michigan fans, and if you get mad at me for saying that, go look at your Twitter followers. Because Arkansas fans are crazy too. All fans are crazy. Fan stands for fanatic, right?
Yeah, we're all crazy.
But yeah, I think that D'Antonio's not in the hot seat because they're in a division with Ohio State and Penn State, and Penn State is my prediction to win that division.
You know how
Yeah.
bad we're starving for football? I found something crazy on Twitter. There's people getting back and forth on somebody said we'll win 5, 6, 7 games, and then somebody was like, "Well, you're just being so down. I see big things coming." I'm not saying we don't. I don't see big things coming,
That's the
but
ones that's the logical side battling the illogical
no,
side.
they weren't. It was the super, 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 super way past logic and super, super. I'm a super fan. We're kind of in the middle, and they were on way other There's the negative, and then there's the way over positive, and those
That's
both were.
Twitter.
Yeah, those both were arguing. We sit in the middle, like
That sounds a
now.
whole.
If we
That
go
sounds like Facebook to me.
Oh, Facebook
The-
is just Facebook needs a character limit.
You ain't kidding.
I'm glad Twitter.
But I'm
does
glad
it.
they don't because I can't post all my raps and bars on there if they get me. But I like Twitter because hey, like you got to really
This
put your
guy
work in.
here, this
Yeah.
guy right here.
All right,
Yeah.
I've been holding on to this so I can put my phone up, but this is the soundbite from a thing yesterday with Coach Morris, and it was tweeted out by College Game Day.
The center, the snapper, the holder, and then the kicker was able to kick with a different holder and a different snapper. Did y'all see that game? Anybody see that? I mean, you never know. So you have to be ready. That's why we practice those situations. So just hypothetically, I know I was talking to a few guys, and where's Grant Morgan at? Grant, get up here. So if we had, let's say Grant has to snap because we've ran all our deep snappers out. And they're at it. Man, they're all over here with their knee pads up. And where's Pluck at? Pluck's holding. Pluck said he held. And where's Connor Limper?
I absolutely love this.
Limper, could you kick if these guys held? He snapped and held. Could you still kick it through? Yeah. Do y'all think he can do it? Yeah. Now back up. Come on, BD Pluck. Right there. That's it. Hey, listen up.
You see how quiet it got after he blew his
easy.
whistle?
You got to be ready for everything because these three guys have just been put on full scholarship.
And do you know why he said they got put on full scholarship? Because he said those three guys have always been ready to do whatever is necessary for the team and when it's ready. And hey, hard work gets rewarded, and you know those guys have been working their butts off. So hey, kudos. I got chills here now just because that's the kind of stuff I like to see.
Something about them Morgan boys, man. I'm telling you, they're born with. I hate to say it this way, but they're just born with more heart than a lot of players that
Is that
go
Drew
up
Morgan's
there.
brother?
It
Yeah,
is.
it's his little brother.
Hey,
Go
I
look
love Drew Morgan. I miss him.
Hey, just take a look at him in a picture. You won't be able to tell the difference. You'll be able to like, oh my God, that's definitely his brother. They look just alike.
Yeah.
But
Those are awesome.
what is it the old saying goes? It ain't the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
There you go. Those Morgan boys are just built different, man. Same for the Henrys. They're just built different.
Oh wow, that was like a whole 2 seconds of silence between three Razorbacks fans. So three Razorback fans walked.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. What are you doing?
I was just putting my phone in the charger.
Oh, okay. But yeah, it's like the Henry brothers, the Morgan brothers. They're just more built to fight for what they have. Like, I mean, I know that Drew got put on scholarship, but he had his own fight because he was undersized. He wasn't the fastest guy in the world, and he was a white guy receiver. Like, that's three things you have going against you. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it is what I mean. I hate to put that perception out there, but white guys receiver had to battle that perception of, well, they got sneaky speed. Like they always
They
say.
must have really good hands because they're not very fast.
Right.
Hey, that's what that was.
Well, think about when Matt Jones played quarterback, and like if you watched Matt Jones play, he looked slow. He was definitely not slow, but he was because of his casual demeanor. Like Houston Nutt would say this, it's like he's way faster than he looks on TV.
You know, every time
Gosh. How many times do you go, oh, crap, Matt Jones is not going to make that corner? And all of a sudden it's like,
He's gone.
oh, that corner made a bad angle. And everybody's like, they didn't take a bad angle. You just don't realize how fast he is because he looks like he's moving
a damn
slow.
gazelle.
There's a reason he got drafted at receiver at the NFL level because they're like, this dude is fast.
He got drafted at the receiver at that level because the modern day offenses hadn't developed yet.
Yeah.
Listen, I love Matt Jones, but he wouldn't have been a good NFL quarterback.
Because go look at what he was doing at Arkansas. Read options.
Oh yeah. I don't.
He was running read options before read option was actually a thing.
Yeah, that's why the Miami Dolphins stole our play. Like,
Yeah, the
remember
Wild Hog.
it was the Wild Hog, and then they got the Wildcat, but we started that. Like,
Yeah.
because Ronnie Brown was in the conference when we were running that, and then Miami. Hey, kudos to Miami for being smart to say, hey, let's try this. But they didn't run it all the time, but they ran it enough to where it was effective. The read option will never be a offense, but they will have parts of the read option, the triple option. All these will always be a part.
Like, I just can't help but think, seeing the way that modern day offenses are now with the spread and how they use fast quarterbacks that can just like make quick passes and utilize their legs. Man, I just can't help but think, damn, what would have Matt Jones done if he would have been around 10 to 12 years later?
Yeah,
He would have been a freaking SEC icon. Like, if he would have been around that, like, from anywhere from like 2010 and beyond, he would have been a freaking icon.
Well, we love the receivers that have come through Arkansas, but let's be honest. If Matt Jones was on let's hypothetical. Matt Jones was on a team with Darren McFadden, Felix Jones, Peyton Hillis, and then the receivers under Petrino, they would have won a national championship.
Oh, absolutely.
Because Houston Nutt, for people give him crap, the defenses were usually pretty good. They were a little undersized, but they're deep. Tony Bua, go back and look at tape.
I mean, he
Tony
had
Bua.
a hell of a lot of good defensive players.
Offensive lineman, like he turned Jason Peters.
Jason Peters wasn't an offensive lineman
He was
at
a tight
Arkansas.
end.
He was a tight end.
No, you could let me finish my sentence because I know that because I remember.
Okay, I was
watching
just
all
making
these games.
sure.
I know he was. I was gonna say we have guys that have. Yes, he was absolutely a tight end that they turned into an offensive lineman. So my point is like if you look at the defenses under Houston Nutt and then you look at the defenses under Petrino, Houston Nuts were way better. So that's my argument against all these Petrino guys. I keep going back to that because I'm tired of hearing this. I wish we had Petrino back.
I don't.
I like the state of the program where it's at. I like the fact that I don't see any NCAA violations coming. And listen, Petrino is an offensive wizard. I'm the wizard. He's an offensive wizard. Go look at his teams 4 years in and go tell me one quarterback of his that succeeded at the next level. Don't worry. I will wait.
Exactly.
Name a receiver of his
And
that turned into a bona fide receiver.
And
wait.
I'll take it one step further. I'll say that I wish that Petrino would never happen just for because of the standard that he set.
Yes.
Just for the simple fact that he was here for 4 years?
He was here for 4 and got fired before his
Yeah,
fifth.
like he was here for like 3 to 4 years. And now because of him having 1 or 2 good years, the standard is now, well, if we don't win 8 games.
No, the standard really has become if we don't win 10 and win the SEC West
there you
in some
go.
Hogs fans' minds.
Yeah. See,
Which he
I
never
hate
did.
that. I hate that we have to
He had
have
2
that
good years
standard.
and 4.
Do I want to be that team? Sure, but to sit here and say you're a failure if you're not getting there, you're a failure if you're not making SEC title games is ridiculous. The standard now is as if you don't beat Bama, you're a failure as a coach.
Well, there's going to be a lot of
I
failures.
absolutely hate that.
I like how your standard for football is totally different from your standard of basketball. It is the exact opposite thing. I mean, we're not going to talk about basketball, but yeah, it's totally opposite. Because basketball's a little different because there's not divisions. See, that's the problem with basketball. If they had East and West divisions, Mike Anderson might actually have a division title. We don't know because that's a hypothetical, and obviously we could hypotheticalize if that's even a word. Someone looked that up.
Hypothetical, or I self to death with this one.
Right. But yeah, like, now in 3 years, if Chad Morris isn't at least contending for a SEC West title, then people are going to start looking. If he's...
Well, go look and see how long it took Dabo.
Yeah, Clemson hadn't had the sustained success to have those expectations.
They do now.
Neither have
They
we.
do now.
Neither had
Have
we.
you met our fan base? I'm telling you, in 3 years, if Arkansas wins 3 SEC games in 3 years, they will be trying to run Chad up out
Oh,
of here.
yeah, but I'm just
That's
saying.
what I'm saying.
Like, they were, like, when we went, well, it was like,
I'm not saying that's right.
we went 3-5, 5-3, and then after we went 5-3, everybody was like, okay, now we're about to win 10 games. I'm like, y'all need to pump the
You
brakes.
talking about with Bielma?
Yeah. Because I remember when they played LSU and Ole Miss and shut them out like 31.
31
combined or
nothing.
whatever.
Yeah, something like that. I had a fan that came up to me and was like, we're about to go 12-0 next year. I said, you need to stop. Like, I'm a Hog fan. Like, you know what I'm talking, like, we get upset. And I couldn't even watch the Ole Miss game last year when we were kicking that field goal. but you need to be real with yourselves.
What are the two hardest divisions in college football? The SEC West and
Yeah.
that one that has Ohio State, Penn State, Michigan
Yeah, the
State.
Legends League.
Yeah.
The Legends League. I mean, if somebody can find a harder, maybe the good division in the ACC is getting there. But we have to play Alabama, LSU, and Auburn every year. Plus, if Mississippi State and Ole Miss end up being good,
Like this year, we get
and A&M.
This year, we're playing at Auburn, A&M in Arlington, and then Alabama comes down 3 straight weeks.
Yeah.
Name me a harder
But the
stretch.
thing is, when we play Mississippi State, they're coming off the week where they play Alabama.
That'll help.
No, it won't.
No, I'm saying it'll help because if you, Alabama used to say the same thing. There used to be this theory when on Arkansas under Bielema, Nick Saban would say the hardest team, the hardest team after play. Like, okay, so let me rephrase this. Saban said his hardest game every year was the week after Arkansas because if Bielema did nothing else, his offensive line, like they beat you up. So the thing is, when you play Alabama, whoever you play the next week, like Alabama's going to physically bully you. So I'm not saying that just because Mississippi State plays Alabama and then us that we're going to win. Physically, is Mississippi State going to be able to withstand that pounding? Guys who play Chip Kelly, they might be worn out because they had to run a lot, but they're not getting beat up. There's trends. Go look at how teams fare after they play Bama, after they play a physical Arkansas team like under Bielema. Because those offensive linemen, I don't care how sorry people may have said they were, they're still 350 pounds of dudes hitting you for 50, 60 plays a game. So, and that's real life. That's college kids getting hit. That's why people's brains are all messed up because it's football.
That's true.
But yeah, I'm not saying because they play Alabama we're going to beat them. Mississippi State, I'm surprised Mullen. It's weird that Mullen left in Mississippi State. This may have ended up being one of Mullen's best teams at Mississippi State. Because now the Penn State offensive coordinator, Moorhead, then he comes to Penn State. They're going to be like, oh, look at the Big Ten coaches who come and coach in the SEC. Yeah, you walked into a stacked team that Mullen built for years, turning down head coaching jobs to build that program.
I don't think he's going to be as great as people say either. I think he's just another Bielema, to a lesser extent.
I don't know anything about the guy. I'm an NFL guy. I'm working on it, guys.
I mean, honestly, being honest with you, like the thing that made Penn State be what Penn State is the fact that they had James Franklin.
Yeah.
He was the one that was the difference. Yes, he was a good offensive coordinator, but come on. These guys that never have coached before never had a head coaching job before and then go to the SEC, that's not going to work.
Kirby Smart just went to a national championship game his first year as a head coach.
But look at what he walked into.
A 9-10 win team every year.
Yeah, he walked into.
He wasn't walking in Tennessee.
Yeah, but Mississippi State's not Tennessee either.
No,
give it year 3 or 4 for Kirby Smart to see when he gets his own guys in there.
That's fair. That's absolutely
Whenever
fair.
He gets his own guys in there and see what he actually does.
I mean, he did recruit the number 1 quarterback in the nation.
We've seen this before. We've seen guys put up great recruits, get great recruits, and not be able to coach worth a flip. Florida much?
Yeah, but Florida hired really bad coaches. We're talking Ron Zook. We're talking Jim McElwain from wherever the heck he came from. Was like the Mac
Colorado.
Colorado. No, it was Colorado. No, he wasn't the head coach at. I thought it was Colorado. No, it was Colorado State. He did not come from Colorado. Someone look that up. It was not the University of Colorado because I remember he came from that high-powered offense. It was Colorado State. Beer bet time. Oh no, we're talking about college sports. We can't make beer bets.
I mean, yeah, you can.
It was a joke.
All right. We've been on for like 40 minutes and haven't had a break. I think we need to go to commercial.
Go for it. Yeah, you're right.
interviews, special guests, and the recap of the week's news and headlines and box scores and results. It's Beck's Work Week in Review live on 12 Ounce Sports Radio every Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Brought to you by Rally House, your city, your style, show your colors. Hey guys, it's Ian here from Rehab Sports Guys. You can now book tee times on 12 Ounce Sports Radio. Just go to 12ouncesportsradio.com and scroll to the bottom of any page, and there you'll see a banner that says Book Like a Pro. Click the banner, enter your course, or enter a zip code. Then select a tee time of your choice. You'll get 50% off each time you book through 12 Ounce Sports Radio. So book your next round at 12ouncesportsradio.com. 12ozsportsradio.com. Hey, who likes to go to concerts? Who likes to go to games? I know I do, and now you can buy event tickets on 12ouncesportsradio.com. Just go to the menu page and look for the event tickets tab and sign up today. And you can search by your zip code, or we use your geolocation. You get $20 off your first purchase, only on 12ouncesportsradio.com.
12 Ounce Sports Radio. Quench your sports thirst.
Hey, Wade here on 12 Ounce Sports Radio. Listen to Rehab Sports Guys. Make sure you check out Scout Team Radio Wednesdays at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Make sure you look on the calendar for August 27th when Loud Sports America will be coming to 12 Ounce Sports Radio daily. That is from the Scout Team Radio.
This is Hog Nation report on 12 Ounce Sports Radio. Y'all ready?
And we are live back on 12 Ounce Sports Radio. This is Talking Hogs Live. I'm here with Jesse and David. What's up, guys?
What's up, man?
Oops. It's a cord. That would be a cord.
It's probably not good for it.
It'd be alright.
But yeah, man. 5 more days. It's getting around that time. Ready for... I know it's only Eastern Illinois, man, but...
Still football.
It's still football, man. I almost wished I could have watched that Colorado State and Hawaii game. That was a wild game.
Yeah, I heard about it on Twitter. If I wouldn't have been at work.
I don't have CBS Sports Network, though, so I couldn't watch it.
I don't think I do. I don't know.
Oh, so the game is on the SEC network, like the actual SEC network.
Yeah, no alternate or anything.
Supposed to be, anyway. Until they start screwing around with it like they did in the baseball tournament.
Nah, because they have all
It's
the games.
football.
They already have all the games preset.
It's football. They're not... But he's bitching because they had, like, the replay of the LSU...
I don't ever put
called?
anything past the SEC network when it comes to Arkansas because they...
Oh, my God. Here we are with the... Everybody's against us. We're from Arkansas. They hate us.
They do hate us. It's obvious. They have no respect for us. Look at...
They didn't play any games during the early tournament.
If you need any proof, just go take a look at Greg McElroy and Fat Boy Spears a couple weeks ago.
Greg McElroy also said that... See, this is where Arkansas fans drive me nuts. Greg McElroy also said Arkansas is the loudest place he ever played. So, yes, Arkansas has not... And here's the thing, Arkansas. Why are we expecting respect when we were a laughingstock last year in the 4th year of a head coach's program? Why are we demanding respect when we let Bobby Petrino run the program into the ground and people are like, let's keep Petrino? How are we demanding respect when we also let John L. Smith run our program into the ground? Respect is earned. And I love the Razorbacks, but let's stop acting like we need the SEC network to...
John L. Smith didn't run anything. He was just a figurehead for a year.
But the program was set back because of it. There's a reason.
I agree.
There's a reason Bielema went 0-8 his first year in the SEC because that team
Because we basically missed an entire recruiting class because we didn't have a coach that was going to be recruiting for a year.
Why wasn't he recruiting? He was on the staff the year before that. It wasn't like we just plucked the guy out of thin air. The guy was on the staff.
You think he's gonna spend his whole year busting his ass recruiting whenever he knows he ain't gonna be there in the future? No, he was just there to fill a job.
Exactly, and that set it back, and that's why Arkansas should have.
And that's why
that's why we don't get respect.
And that's why I wasn't so hard on Bielema to start with, because he started out in a bad situation, but in the end he had to go back. That said, with new staff and a new look on the program, there's no reason that we should be sitting here getting laughed at, because this coaching staff had nothing to do with any of that.
Okay, well, prove him wrong then. I mean, this whole, why are people so sensitive about what Marcus Spears, and I don't want to get into name calling on air.
Because they're national TV, man, literally laughing about us.
Well,
we don't like that shit. We don't like that shit. It's not, there's no need for that.
Okay.
Why is it so damn funny to have an idea that Arkansas could actually be good? Why is it so funny? Is it because you're from LSU?
Because we were losing by 31 to Ole Miss last year.
And we have the same players for the most part. We lost. I mean, you lose your starting quarterback, whether or not you think he's good or not. You have Cole Kelly, who has very limited experience. You lost your whole receiving core, pretty much. Drew Morgan's gone. Name some of the other guys that left. I'm drawing a blank. Number 1, he's gone. So, yeah. Now, do I think they should last?
No, Jared Cornelius is still there.
Cornelius is still there, but
Jonathan Nance is still there.
But what I will say is,
why is Arkansas fans so sensitive? Let them laugh. Ignore them.
Well, yeah, exactly. Why are you getting so upset? Do I think we are better than 6 games? Yeah, but you even agree. But what they're going on, they don't know what we know. They don't follow the program as close as we follow it. And so he's just like, the question asked was, are they going to make a bowl game? And he just said, I don't see it. And with his face, then Marcus Mears laughed at him. How many times have we said something, I'm laughing at you, I'm not laughing at the statement?
So was Marcus Spears laughing at Arkansas, or was he laughing at what Greg McElroy said?
He was laughing at the way Greg McElroy said it.
And so if you even look, but see, I actually read the reply that Spears said. And Spears came out and said.
He said, if y'all do better than, I would gladly be wrong.
Listen, I'm not a Marcus Spears apologist. I like him all right. I don't care that he went to LSU. If y'all expect Arkansas
fans... Do you think that's the problem, is they went to Alabama and LSU, respectively?
Yeah, can I make a public service announcement to all the Arkansas fans out there? Number 1, you can hate me as much as you want for being on the show. I'm not leaving or going anywhere. Number 2, I'm not going to sugarcoat things, and I'm not going to fall into this us against the world. We have a brand new head coach from a smaller program in the first year. Yes, he built Clemson. So, number 3... you can be crazy all you want. I'm going to try to bring, and I'm not saying that y'all don't do this, right? But my point on this Hogs show is I'm going to look at the games, I'm going to report on what happens on the field, and I'm going to give my opinions. I don't care about the national media. I never have, never will. I may want a job there one day, but they don't offend me.
As a fan.
And honestly, I try to be more of a broadcaster than a fan, but I live in Arkansas, so obviously I'm an Arkansas fan. Show and prove. Greg McElroy was a very mediocre quarterback, and I'm not knocking him for that. But consider the source. Greg McElroy was asked a question that he thought was funny because in his mind, our talent level isn't there. So let's prove McElroy wrong. Let's actually be so good that they have to start saying good things. Because guess what? When we were winning 10 and 11 games and we were number 3 in the nation, they were heaping praise on Arkansas. If you watch the broadcast, they were actually like, oh, Arkansas has a very unique call, the hog call. They will say good things. I've watched broadcasts where they talk about the great barbecue in Northwest Arkansas. The problem is, as fans, sometimes we only see the negative. And I don't watch enough because I don't care about what the national media says. They don't know anything about Arkansas. Just like no one ever talked about Baylor until Baylor was good. And then they're like, oh, Baylor this, that, and then Baylor went and built a new stadium. Baylor was garbage in 2007 when I lived there. So national media, they cover so much sports. Now the SEC network, they should know a little more. Like Feinbaum's on out here knowing a lot about Arkansas, and we know where his biases lie. But hey, TV is about ratings. That's why they do what they do. That's why I don't get mad at Skip Bayless when he says ridiculous things about these sports, and he's wrong all the time.
So you know why Greg McElroy and Marcus Spears are sitting in the corner thinking this is awesome and Arkansas fans got mad? Because go look at that video.
About.
Yeah, go look at that video. How many views you think Arkansas fans went after? How much bills did they get paid from those views? A lot.
And I don't think Greg McElroy and Marcus Spears came into that show with like, hey, we're just gonna dog Arkansas. Now the logo thing. Since I'm on here, on SEC Media Day when they put Chad Morris's logo up there and they put SMU up there, I didn't like that. But that's another one of my points. People got so mad about it. And now you can make a comment, hey, I think that was disrespectful, and move on. Dude, they were like threads and threads and threads. And I'm like, it's a logo. Get over it. Yes, they should have put the Arkansas logo up there, obviously.
It was it's an easy mistake that people can take the wrong way.
It's an easy mistake. He was a head coach at SMU, and he got that kind of disrespect. Joe Moorhead was an assistant. He doesn't get that kind of disrespect.
See, you're still on this whole they disrespect us.
They
I don't
disrespect
care.
the fuck out of us every single time that we're associated with anything. Unless we're a top 5 team, they don't show us any kind of respect.
They show Vanderbilt any kind of respect.
Why do you care so much about someone else respecting you? And it's not even you. We don't even go to that school. We don't play for the team. Who cares? Let them disrespect us. If we start winning, we'll get the respect. That's just me personally. I don't care. Like, think about if you were a Cleveland Browns fan. They don't respect us. They don't respect us. They don't respect us. They have a Hall of Fame quarterback in Bernie Kosar. They had Jim Brown on their team. And Browns fans, like, I don't get into that. I don't care. Let them disrespect us. That has nothing to do with me. I don't get mad about that. I laugh at it. Like, okay, we'll show you. Let the players use that as motivation. Oh, ESPN doesn't respect us. ESPN don't respect anything that ain't super big.
I'm hoping every single word, every single bit of this is posted on a wall somewhere.
Me too, absolutely.
I hope that's posted on every freaking door in Razorback Stadium, where the players are.
But it also has. I
hope it's posted in the freaking locker room. I hope it's posted in the weight room. I hope it's posted in the film room. I hope it's posted in the practice facility. I want every single place that those players are. I want those players to see that every single day, just to prove every single one of these damn haters wrong.
But then,
every single one.
How can they be haters and we haven't given them anything to love except for once? And we haven't won an SEC West title since 2006.
I'm tired of people.
We haven't won a national championship since 1960 something. Where do we get off saying that we get respect? Let's get it. Let's earn it. We're an 8-win program average on bets. Do the math. And I'm not saying we can't be better.
Since I just went brain dead. Since like 1960, Arkansas's average wins per year is like 8.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not accepting mediocrity here, but 8 wins and 8-4, on average of 8-4 every year is not horrible.
Yeah, and the ESPN analysts don't get paid to cover teams that win 8 games a year. That's my point. I don't care about ESPN. That's why I don't care.
ESPN, sure. ESPN, sure. Okay, I can relate on.
And you're about to say the SEC network, right?
Exactly.
Who owns the SEC network?
I agree.
ESPN.
But I'm just saying though, like,
I get it.
If you're on ESPN, literally ESPN, and I understand not talking about us, but you're on a conference network
that they get paid to cover. Who's the number one head on the SEC network? Paul Feinbaum. Who are the only 2 teams they talk about? Alabama and Auburn. Where did he go to school?
Yeah.
Tennessee.
He's the weird one.
Okay, so then stop watching the SEC network unless the games are on.
I don't bother watching it.
Then what's the point? And here's my thing about
the one person we talked to from the SEC network was awesome. And he rant and raved about Arkansas.
He was great.
Peter Burns.
Peter Burns. Sorry, awesome. Peter Burns. I wasn't here for that, but that was a great interview.
That was a great interview.
Here's my other thing about posting everything around the locker room.
See, that's the type of thing I'm talking about. Like there's people that do actually respect our program. That even whenever we're down, they still show us respect. And then there's people like Spears and McElroy who don't give a single crap about anything other than Alabama and LSU.
So do you have a problem about them disrespecting Kentucky and Vanderbilt?
I think that if you're going to be talking
how many games
has
Arkansas won in the SEC since?
It's not about games won right now. I'm talking about simply for the fact if you're on an SEC network, you should not be disrespecting anybody at all on that network. I'm sorry, you're just not. I know you're paid to talk about certain teams, but that doesn't give you right to be able to sit here.
Trashing other programs on this radio.
They're there to drive listens.
Tennessee's trash.
It's different. We're fans.
No, we're not. We have a radio show.
We're
fans.
Yeah, we're fans, but so are they.
You don't think
you
they're
think
human beings too?
Yeah.
They played in the conference.
We're not being paid.
Well,
it might be.
I would like to get paid.
I'm not. Of course, I would love to get paid, but I'm just saying, technically
we're
speaking, we're
You're
not.
gonna stop being a hater.
No.
I'm a hater
No.
too. Don't get me wrong. I hate.
But I'm not just gonna. If I'm
Are we
getting
gonna
paid,
change when we start getting paid? No, none of us are.
If I'm getting paid and you're telling me I have to say nice things about people, then absolutely I'm going to be saying nice things about
Even you have to say
teams.
nice things about Houston teams.
Absolutely, I would. If I'm getting paid,
then why don't you do it now?
If I'm getting that dollar in my pocket,
sponsorships and stuff.
Oh, best believe, I'm dropping my hate on the drop of a dime.
Hey, we got sponsors. Why are you doing this then? We just ain't got paid yet.
I'm just saying.
Here's my point.
Hypothetically,
I wanted to make a point about your post and everything in the locker room, and I think that there's nothing wrong with that. Bulletin board material is great, but what I don't want to happen is the extreme, is that the players are so focused on the media that they forget about what their actual job is to win
I agree.
games.
You can worry about what SEC Network or ESPN or Fox are talking about, or even the local 1037 The Buzz are talking about, or even our show. Then you're in trouble. Because if they start focusing on that and stop focusing on what you're preaching, you're in real trouble.
I'm not
that's
saying
why
that.
that's why you saying post it everywhere. Post it. Should the players feel disrespected? Yes, because some of them actually had something to do with that.
But what would Chad tell them?
It's like
Chad would tell him, you haven't earned respect yet. You go out there and earn it. That's what I believe
that's
Chad's
exactly
telling us
what
right now. Now, with you, I want to make this very clear, because I don't want you to think that I'm missing what you're saying or throwing it away. I got a little animated there. Let's acknowledge that there have been instances, yes, where the program is disrespected. And should we feel a certain way about it? Yes. So I'm not saying Arkansas fans not to feel the disrespect. My point is, at some point, we have to let it go and focus on the program. The logo thing is careless, and SEC Network should be ashamed that you knew SEC Media Day was coming, and you knew that Chad Morris had been the coach of the program for 8 months at that point, 9 months. Get the logo up there, but leave it at that. Okay, cool. They didn't put the logo up there. My thing wasn't directed at you, as these people on Twitter are still talking about it 3 weeks later. I'm like, dude, get over it. Yeah, it was disrespectful. Call out the disrespect. Hey, SEC Network, do a better job because y'all get paid. And the thing is, I followed Marcus Spears for a long time, so I'm not gonna just be like, oh, I hate that guy because it's one time he disrespected Arkansas, and I felt like he.
I've never had anything for Marcus Spears anyway.
Well, that's your opinion, but I haven't, so I'm not going to just jump on because people do this on Twitter. One guy says one thing that they dislike, and they're like, oh, screw that guy. I'm like, you're going to disagree with people all the time.
You said it last week about, what's his name, the basketball guy.
What basketball guy?
Basically through, what's his name? I forgot his name. But he's and normally does college basketball on CBS. And
Gottlieb.
Doug
Gottlieb said something about.
I know how he feels about Doug Gottlieb.
Yeah, so we don't even have to get into it. But what I'm saying is sometimes
he's terrible. He's terrible at covering the NBA, by the way.
Yeah, but anyways, we can get back to Hog Talk. Get out of it.
Yeah, because Gottlieb probably don't even know where Arkansas is. The university, not the state.
True.
I sure hope he knows where the state is. Hey, I don't hate you, Gottlieb. But, yeah, anyways, back to the Hogs. I mean, yeah, I'm excited about the season. I'm excited about, and you know why we have time to get all this disrespect stuff out of the way? Because we need football this bad. Would you agree?
Yes.
Once the games start, we're going to forget, but we're not going to be worried about what the SEC Network says, because we're going to have so much to talk about with the games coming up, and we're going to get to see players and live games in a new system, so we'll be excited. We'll see which quarterback plays. We'll get to see the defense. I'll start learning all these players' names. Sorry, Hog fans, I'm new. I'm gonna do some homework, but like I told y'all on Twitter last night, my schedule's so busy.
Man,
Jimmy wants to
just
do an NFL show on Sundays. I'm like, I'll try.
There's literally no way. Your schedule right now is so ridiculous. It's just I'm surprised you're even able to make this show.
Oh well, luckily it just so happened let me story time with the Wizard. We might even make that a segment one day, but not. Okay, so what happened is when I made my college schedule, I accidentally scheduled Spanish during the Rehab Sports Guys.
Oh, man.
And so I went and looked at my schedule. I'm like, wait a minute. Why did I do that? So I went back and looked and found out there was a 9 o'clock on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So I moved my class to 9 o'clock. Well, then I found out y'all were doing the Hog show from 11 to 1. And I just happened to look at my schedule. I'm like, class at 9, class at 10, class at 2. I can come on the Hog show. And then thanks to our wonderful producer, Ian, he bumped our show a little bit because I don't get out of class till 12:15 on Tuesday, Thursday. And so the Rehab Sports Guys now is from 1 to 3 Central, 2 to 4 Eastern. I hate doing time zones. And even if we need to bump that back up to 12, I'd only miss 15 minutes. But so it's great that I was like, oh, I can actually be on the show. Now, I was also working a lot of those days. They had me working Monday morning, so I couldn't be on the original.
I had a mini freak out last week. I saw 2 to 4, and then Ian had talked about moving back to Gurdon later on. I was like, oh, crap. I was thinking about it. I was like, 2 to 4. Crap, if we're getting 4, and I have to be here at 4:30 for work because it's Eastern. I wasn't thinking about it. He said 4. I was like, oh, shoot. I was like, I'll do it, but I'm going to have to rush my ass to work every single damn day. Yeah. He's like, bro, that's Easter. I'm like, oh.
Like tomorrow on our Rehab Sports Guys show, I'm going to have to leave out midway through the show and let y'all finish up because I have to be at work.
When is that?
Show's from 1 to 3 Central Times, and I have to be at work at 3.
On which days?
On Tuesday, Thursdays. Oh, that's just Tuesday this week. My schedule's so crazy. You think your schedule's crazy.
Yep. And that's what I'm saying. If y'all wanted to talk to the chief, Mr. Jeff, to move that show back to 12 if there's an open... Well, no, because
I had just as long as y'all ever don't
we
ever
had to move it for your school schedule, and Jimmy wanted
That's right. I keep forgetting
What's up, sports? Thursday.
If y'all ever get the bright idea of leaving me by myself, I'm calling in Jimmy. I'm just letting you know.
Oh, that's fine. I mean,
as long as it's the Rehab Sports show.
Shout out to Jimmy. Jimmy did a great job on our other show.
Right.
I mean, I clowned him for sitting in my seat, but I mean, it's all fun and games. And we're going to talk more about him tomorrow when we talk nationally. And by the way, fans understand that a lot of these guys on 12 ounce are our friends. So when you see us talking crap, like, it's all in fun. So I'm not really dogging him except for the Browns comment. Anyways, back to Arkansas. Like, I'm excited.
Speaking of Arkansas, we end up talking to Jimmy, who's a Texas fan. He's on 12 ounce, and I know. And the scout team guys, there's Florida State, Florida, and UCF fan.
Which one's which? Because I get them all confused.
Scout team. Chris America is the Florida fan.
Really?
Mac is the Florida State fan, and
Loudbeard's
the UCF fan.
That's interesting. I bet. See, it'd be better if one of them was a Miami fan. They need to get a Miami fan every week as a guest, because that show could explode.
You know how funny it was the other day? They had a call-in of Florida State's coach, and Mac about lost his mind. It was hilarious. It was actually, I know who it was, but I'm not gonna bust him out.
Now Willie Taggart's the coach there, right?
Yes, Willie Taggart. It was Willie T. That had me rolling. I will say one thing: they talk crap about Arkansas and the Cowboys. I'm a Cowboys fan too, and you would think I would hate the show, right? Because all they do is dog on. Right. I absolutely loved their show because you have no idea what they're gonna say.
Oh yeah.
And they called our entire show They called the Rehab Sports Guys Cowboys fans.
I saw
but
that.
We'll get into that tomorrow.
Yeah.
But this is talking Hogs, so we're gonna try and keep it Arkansas. But it relates to Arkansas and the fact that Arkansas fans are Razorback fans and all kinds of national football teams. So that's why you should listen to our Rehab Sports Guys.
No disrespect to fans of like Henderson and Ouachita and Arkansas State and UCA. Those are all, I'm sure, really good schools. SAU, shout out to Trey Berry, the president, used to be one of my professors, and my sister-in-law goes there. Arkansas, Hendricks. How could I forget Hendricks? My dad went to school there. Gosh darn it.
Harding.
Sorry, Dad. Harding. But here's the thing. My point is this. Arkansas fans are so crazy for a reason because really, if it boils down to it, we have one team. And it's the Hogs.
Yeah.
That's our major team. I'm not disrespecting any of those other schools, even though I hope that Chad Morris decides to play Arkansas State and beats him by 50 just one time. Yeah. Shout out to Chase Gage. Love you, buddy.
So he writes for Rivals now. You know that, right?
Right. Oh, no, I did not know that.
Yes, that's for
awesome.
Rivals.
Shout out at Chase Gage 1 on Twitter. Great follow. But think about all these states that only have like a big college team. Oklahoma was that way. Yeah, they have the Thunder, but really Oklahoma Sooners is Oklahoma. Now,
Oklahoma State.
Okay, they got two, but that makes them both crazy, and like because they get to rival each other, right? what would be a better example of that?
Missouri.
Louisiana State.
Missouri's got the Cardinals. The Cardinals are huge, bro.
Oh well, then you got. Yeah, never mind. I said
Alabama's got Alabama, Auburn. Georgia's really got Georgia. I mean, Georgia Tech's all right, but they've got the Atlanta.
They got
teams.
the Braves.
Yeah, but if that would be since I would like to gauge the state of because Atlanta's
Kansas.
Yes,
Yeah, there you go.
you don't count Kansas City because they're in Missouri. Kansas is a great Kansas basketball. Absolutely, because Kansas State football runs that state. But I'm trying to think of like South Carolina. You got Clemson in South Carolina.
Yeah.
West Virginia. I bet West Virginia is minus the Steelers that live in the north. That's a pretty big market.
And that's probably generally all Mountaineer country, except for the occasional Thundering Herd because Marshall's there. But
yeah,
but let's back to Arkansas. I get why we are how we are as fans because it's just what we're used to. I mean, we don't have anybody else to get behind like this other than those.
Ow.
Sorry, people. Except for the people in the northeast corner up around Jonesboro, because they are the little brothers.
well, absolutely.
They have little brother syndrome up there. But they try to kind of separate themselves from all that, but
You gotta think the thing with Arkansas State fans recently is their football program is actually for being in their conference has been pretty darn good.
yeah.
And so now because Arkansas hasn't been as good, they're starting to get this like you said, the little brother mentality. And I don't mean that disrespectfully, but they're like, hey, we could beat Arkansas. Why don't they play us? Why don't they play us? Because Arkansas has nothing to gain from that.
Zero.
Now, and Arkansas State, to their credit, does play a pretty tough non-schedule. Now,
But they have to.
yes. Well,
We don't have to.
Why do they have to?
Because if they were going for them, if they want to get to where they ultimately want to be, which is a big bowl game or a big game at the end of the year, they have to play these big teams, or else they're not going to get the recognition to get there.
But see, Arkansas and other schools have to play those big games too at some point because of
Yes,
the college
but
football playoff.
But it's even more necessary for a
Is it?
for a division. What is that thing? Not the Power Five. It's
Other five. Or group of five.
the Group of Fives. Yeah, it's more important for the Group of Five type teams like that, like the Arkansas States, the UCFs, the Boise States, the Wyomings, the teams like that, to play these upper level teams and win them, because if you don't, you're not going anywhere. You're going to go to your regulated conference allotted bowl game that you get assigned to year in and year out. It's like when Arkansas State doesn't make a top 25 ranking and have an undefeated record or something. They're playing in that game in Birmingham. I mean, that's just what's going to happen every year, because that is their designated conference champions bowl.
So even if they
unless they make a higher bowl and get picked for something else.
So if they routinely win their conference, we'll say conference or division, and they routinely get blown out by these Division I schools, how is that really helping them besides financially? Because let's not play ourselves. The real reason these smaller universities play these big teams is for recruiting and for the money.
Yeah.
And I'm not knocking.
And a lot of that, but I do agree that.
And you can't use
I do
UCF
agree
as the
that
biggest school in the United States of America, by the way, in case you didn't know. UCF is the biggest, most populated school. Look it up. Yes.
I did not know
look
that.
It up. And if they're not one, they're in the top 5. UCF is huge.
That's crazy.
They just have always had a not very good sports program. I didn't know this either. UCF's okay, scout team, Loudbeard, hit me up and tell me I'm wrong. That's like a 40,000 population of that school. It's nuts.
This is why I don't get mad with Arkansas playing these lesser teams, because yes, they're helping them, but it doesn't hurt us. Whenever these other people in the state talk about we should play Arkansas State, and like, why are we playing these other?
Breaking news: Cole Kelly is starting Saturday.
We knew that, didn't we?
No,
I didn't know that.
nobody knew that.
I thought that we were already agreed that it was going to be split snaps anyway.
Whoa, you didn't know who? I'm saying Cole Kelly's starting.
Okay.
Breaking news: my phone was just blowing up from Pig Trail Nation to
Okay.
Danny West to anybody else.
We knew it was going to be one of the two, so I mean.
Oh yeah, but Ty Story will play.
Yeah,
I
think he's going to get outplayed.
What's the name of our show?
Talking Hogs.
So what is our job here?
Talk Hogs.
And to break news?
Yes.
Because they were just like, oh, who cares? Yeah, like let's break the news because who else is breaking the news on airways right now?
Amen.
I just hope we beat Bo Mattingly. I don't know Bo Mattingly.
Bo Mattingly didn't come on until 2.
Oh yeah, we beat you. Bo Mattingly's Twitter annoys me. I don't know you, Bo. I'm gonna listen to your show, but he retweets a lot of negative stuff, so I have to remember it's not Bo saying this, and Bo's probably
the main one is the 1037. That's the one we have to try to beat for those that listen to us.
They're playing Slipknot and Shinedown right now because Shout out to Corey and Patrick though. I love that show. Anyways, back to what you were saying.
Sorry.
I said 1037, not 100.3.
Well, I wish Corey and Patrick.
What the hell are you talking about, bro?
Well, still shout out to Corey and Patrick.
Oh my God, bro.
On 100.3. I'm sorry, I don't listen to the radio. I broadcast the radio.
I don't listen to radio anymore. I listen to 12 ounce sports radio.
Okay, I rephrase it. I don't listen to music radio. I listen to sports radio all the time.
Yes.
On my phone after it's already been posted.
But yeah, I mean that's good news. At least now we don't have to wonder who it is.
Do you think it's the right call?
I don't. But I trust Chad. If he believes that's what it is, then if he believes that's who's best, then I believe that's who's best.
Do you think Chad Kelly's gonna start?
Cole Kelly.
Chad Kelly.
Not Kelly. Swag Kelly, bro.
Hey, Chad Kelly. He's in the NFL now. Come on, guys. Give me a break here. Cole Kelly. The big, tall, 6 foot, whatever.
I don't think he's gonna. I don't think he's gonna
start with because of experience, and I think that Ty or someone else will eventually replace him.
Yes, that's exactly what I think. I just really hope that with the improvements that Dalton Hyatt made this offseason, and with how much Coach talked about him, I really hope that he sticks around. Like I've had this innate fear for like months now that if he wasn't named in the top 2, that he would leave.
Now, he's a quarterback, right?
Yes.
And you got KJ Jefferson coming next year.
See, that's just my thing, though. Like
Chad Morris's son's coming, hopefully. Like you could only have one. The problem is
you only have enough.
You have his son's teammate from high school.
Jerry Jones's grandson.
Yeah, that's why I don't think that he's going to come. Honestly, I really don't think that he's going to come to Arkansas. It's his son. I think he's probably going to Clemson. That's my thought.
That's a possibility. I'm not going to.
But here's my thing.
His first 2 offers were Arkansas, and then he visited Clemson, and then got an offer. So I'm not going to. And he hasn't even started a game in high school yet.
That is true. Like, yeah, that's crazy.
Last year, going into last year as a sophomore, he was ranked in the top 25 in the state of Texas. Didn't play it down.
But here's my thing, though.
Y'all did they did that to Ben Simmons at the end.
Here's my thing, though, with it is, I think that Ty's going to probably outplay him at some point and get the start and take that job from him. Isn't he a junior? I think he's a junior.
He's been around for
a junior.
I've been hearing about Ty's story for years.
I kind of want Ty to take that job, but I don't want Dalton to leave just for the simple fact he is so young. And, with a guy like KJ Jefferson coming in, I mean, I think with how many quarterbacks we have on campus and what we're going to have next year, there's going to be guys that transfer.
Oh, absolutely.
I just really, really hope that Dalton's not one of them, because I thought he would be for the longest, and he still might be. But I'm kind of hoping that he's not. I would rather have too many than too few.
Yeah, but if he's any good, he's not staying.
I agree, but this thing with Cole, if Cole takes that job and doesn't relinquish it, I think Ty's gone.
Oh, why would Ty stay? He hasn't played any meaningful football for the University of Arkansas.
Nope.
I thought you were going to argue with me, and I'm like, I remember seeing him in a game like once or twice.
Yeah, no.
Last year.
I mean, I think that.
And what about this Connor Nolan? Is he a quarterback?
Yeah,
I think he's going to be a Jameis situation where he played baseball and played quarterback on the football team, and then he kind of he stopped playing baseball and then just went to football. I think with Ty, it's going to be the opposite.
Ty or Connor?
I mean, Ty, my bad. Connor Nolan.
So you think Connor's going to pick baseball?
Yes, I think he's going to stick around for a year or two probably playing both. But once he really starts playing more on the baseball team, I really feel like he's going to be like, yeah, I'm not taking a beating at quarterback and not being able to, like, I'm not going through these football practices taking a beating just to not play. Like, when I can just go to play baseball and make millions of dollars, like, or make money playing baseball and get drafted. Like, I'm not doing that. Like, there was a possibility he could have got drafted. Like, if he hadn't have made it, like obvious that he was going to school and he wasn't going to sign a contract if they got drafted, then he would have got drafted this year. I think Connor Nolan's going to be a baseball player. I really do. I do not see him being a factor in the quarterback competition in the next 2-3 years. I just don't. We have too many guys coming in. He doesn't really. Yes, Chad brought him in, so to speak, but that was more for the fact that he needed a body that could somewhat feel what he needed to do. Because he needed a guy that would be able to run the offense and help your defense be able to see that. But I don't think he brought him in with any intention of him actually, like, starting. Like, I just don't see it. But
a lot of times you do recruit those 2- and 3-star quarterbacks just to bring them in.
Mm-hmm.
And because you're not just recruiting starters; you have to have depth.
Right.
Absolutely. So I mean, it helps to, like I said, it helps to have too many than too few. And this isn't me trying to sell anybody short. Don't think that at all. I hope every single one of them kids earns a spot on that team. And I hope they do. Every one of them kids, I would hope that they would get their chance to play. I'm not saying that I don't want them here. I'm not saying that at all. It's just that, logically speaking, with what we have coming in and knowing what I know about Chad Morris's offenses and what his quarterbacks are, I just don't see the guy that we need for his offense to be there on campus right now.
I would have to agree with you.
Yeah, Cole Kelly's going to play this year, but I don't think
he's not. He's not.
Well, he's not the answer. We know he's not the answer.
But the thing with Cole,
what I want to see is, you mentioned it last week about maybe a Tim Tebow, Chris Lee type, where you kind of play both of them at times. Because there's some plays in this offense where you can run the.
Who was the other quarterback with Chris Lee?
Tim Tebow.
Oh yeah, sorry, Chris Lee and Tim Tebow. You just said that. My fault, bad. I'm half asleep today. My fault.
I'm so glad we don't do a 5 a.m., 6 a.m. show like.
Oh Lord,
Scouts
I would just be in here asleep.
Terrible.
Bro.
Like, hey, I have a question real quick. You know what? I'll ask that off air. It's technical.
Here's my thing though. Like, I think that Cole Kelly is just a placeholder.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What year is he this year? Sophomore.
Sophomore.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I think he's a sophomore.
Have that in front of me.
Because here's the thing.
No.
You're not going to have.
He was a redshirt sophomore.
You're not going to have KJ Jefferson and what's the kid's name? The Jones kid's name?
Stephen Jones.
Stephen Jones Jr.
John Stephen Jones. Yeah.
You're not going to have both of those dudes and
I
Cole
think you
Kelly
might
all on the same roster. One of them's going to leave.
Yeah.
Especially if the kid is ranked 25th in the state of Texas.
And Dalton High.
And Dalton High. So right.
I think Stephen.
Anti-story.
Here's my ultimate hope for next year is that because yes, if Cole takes that job, I want Ty to get a chance to play somewhere. So hypothetically speaking,
is he good enough to play somewhere else?
Oh, he definitely.
I don't know much about that.
It's just that it's the level of the SEC. I don't know that he's an SEC. If he can't win it this year, then I don't think he's winning it, period. Like, I just don't. I think he could get it done in, say, a Big 12, maybe. Or even a smaller Big 10. Maybe. But my thing is, I want Ty to at least have an opportunity. So maybe have him transfer, allow him to transfer. it's just hard to say because we have so many dadgum quarterbacks on campus, and what we're going to have next year, it's just like, you know that there's going to be at least probably 1 to 2 that are going to be gone. You just kind of got to hope that you don't lose anybody that's going to end up being really good somewhere else.
Right.
I mean, because that's the only thing that worries me, because I don't want to lose like a Dalton Hyde, because I just have this innate thing that he's going to be really, really good somewhere. Wherever he goes, if he gets a shot, I feel like he's going to be really, really good.
What year is he?
He's a freshman. He's a redshirt freshman.
Is he?
Yeah, he's a redshirt freshman.
Okay. That sounds about right.
Which is crazy how we even got him. Like, there's some talent on this team where it's like he didn't fit the Bielema system. We got him
away from Alabama.
Yeah, like he didn't fit the Bielema system. How did we end up with him? But we've kind of been rambling. But this season is going to be better than I think some people that don't follow the program know. But I'm not going to go out here. If you made me bet my mortgage, I'm not saying we're going to win 8 games. Could we win 8 games, 9 games? Maybe.
We haven't seen this team play.
9, I don't think. I think 8 is doable in a perfect situation.
Well, there's 12 games in a season, right?
Yeah.
We're not beating Alabama. We're not beating Auburn. Sadly, A&M's weird because they have Jimbo, but
they're that toss-up game.
We've always played them tough, and it's it's a road game, really. But Arkansas fans travel well to Dallas, so it's technically not.
And Dallas is the biggest Arkansas city as far as fan support.
Because of one Jerry Jones.
Well, yes, but I'm just talking about from the Razorback clubs and all that kind of thing.
No, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't hurt when Jerry Jones is probably doing all kinds of Arkansas stuff down there.
And that's why in Tulsa, too, it's the same way. Like, you have Tulsa Razorback clubs that are really big, like a Razorback club that's really big. My only thing with all this is you just gotta hope you don't lose somebody that's gonna be really good somewhere else. Kind of like what what was his name that left LSU and went to Georgia, or that quarterback that went from Georgia to LSU, or the one that went from
Mettenberger?
Was it Mettenberger?
Yeah, because he got in trouble at Georgia.
That's right.
And then he went to LSU and.
He was trash in the NFL, but
one Cam Newton.
Yes.
Cam, perfect
Tim
example.
Tebow and Cam on the same team.
Perfect example.
And I would almost say they made a mistake, but Tim Tebow was an amazing college quarterback, so they don't regret that at all.
No, but
and Cam Newton allegedly stole some computers. I could not get that sentence out. We don't know if that happened. Yeah, but whatever. But Cam
just from a talent perspective, though, to take the off the field stuff out of the picture for as far as this is concerned.
Oh, no, absolutely.
I'm talking about just pure talent wise. Like
Cam Newton was built for the SEC.
Yep.
And now my question was, when Cam Newton was there, how close in years were Cam Newton and Tebow? Because I think Cam Newton was a freshman when Tebow was like a sophomore.
No, he was a junior, I believe, because Cam left in 2010. And if you include a red shirt, I would say at least 2 years.
Because there was 4 years, and then Cam went to the league. So there was a Florida year. I think there were 2 JUCO years, or wherever he went and played, and then there was the Auburn year.
Yeah.
So because 2010 is the year he won the Heisman and the title, right?
Yes.
So 10, 9, 8, 7. So yeah. So he would have been a freshman in 2007. Tebow would have been a junior.
Let me ask you this: is there anybody on this squad that you think is a Deshaun Watson type?
On this one?
Squad?
On right now?
Yes.
None.
Okay.
No.
I mean, that just answers my question.
But here's my other point.
I'm trying to think.
Are you saying style? Because Deshaun Watson is one of the top.
Here, I will say one thing.
10 all-time great college quarterbacks.
Can I say one thing though? As far as it like with Chad Morris related, is I feel like with Dalton Hyde, I feel like he has a lot of Taj Boyd in him.
I know absolutely nothing about Dalton Hyde, to be honest.
I just feel
I haven't seen much on him, honestly.
I feel like he's kind of like what he's not like a super fast quarterback like what Deshaun was, but I think that he's a lot like Taj Boyd for the simple fact he has mobility and he can throw he's got a cannon of an arm. And
I mean,
It's kind of like what Taj Boyd was. He was he was a above average, like a step beyond game manager.
You talking about Dalton Hyatt?
Yes.
I've been saying Hyde the whole time.
No, I said Hyatt. That's what I said. Hyatt.
That's what I said.
That's what I said.
Listen up.
Keep going.
But yeah, I mean, do we have a Deshaun? No, I don't think so. But Deshaun Watson was just like not one of those type of quarterbacks in college that you find just pluck them off of a tree and they're going to be there.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, those kind of guys come around once every 10 years.
Hopefully we think KJ Jefferson's that.
I just think he fits the mold more.
Yeah. Now, Ben Hicks, SMU's quarterback, was not a Deshaun Watson per se, but he did a really good job in this offense. And I am trying to pull these highlights
I think
up.
that's why we were talking about it off air. I think that Ty Story reminds me a lot of him.
Absolutely. And if you watch this, you might believe it. But then there's some plays where you'll see read option, and he'll come out the backside with a lead block. I'm like, well, Cole Kelly could do that, and that'd be dangerous.
Yeah, kind of. But Cole's not that fast. He's just big as hell, and nobody wants
but
to
if you've
tackle
got him
his
if you've got him in open field with a fullback in front
That's
of
what
him,
I'm saying. No, he's just so doggone big that nobody wants to tackle his big ass.
even though he lost 20 pounds, he's still 6'8", 255 pounds.
Yeah. Nobody's trying to tackle that big sucker coming downhill. I mean,
No,
he doesn't have to
absolutely
be fast. You can just run when you run over people. Just ask Jerome Bettis.
Yeah.
He wasn't the fastest dude in the world, but damn, he could just run your ass over like a freight train, and it wouldn't even matter. But it's all relative at this point. Like anybody that knows that these guys that we have right now on campus are just placeholders until we can really get the type of guys that he really wants in the offense.
Absolutely agree.
And now the one position about that I'll disagree that we have right now is going to be our running backs. Now I think we have the running backs that fit perfectly for what he does.
Oh, this dude can run.
Who?
Dalton Hyatt.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
he can.
Jesse's over here looking
Arkansas
up.
fans, I'm watching highlights. I want a cookie.
But I will say this.
Andy looked really good in the spring game.
Hey, did y'all see my tweet about how that all four running backs have their lockers all next to each other?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, that breeds big things.
But that's the thing about with this new coaching staff and all the players now, they're such a close-knit group by each position group. It's like a cohesiveness now. Like the running back room is all together, like always together. The receivers are always together. The DBs are always together. Like it's just like every unit is a cohesive unit right now.
Yeah.
We didn't have that before. Like you didn't have guys that were on the same page. Like with Bielema, all we ever heard about was the running backs, and all we ever saw were J. Will and Alex running around together. You never heard about anybody else. With this one, you're hearing good things about Chase Hayden. You're hearing good things about Devwah Whaley. You're hearing good things about Rakeem Boyd. You're hearing good things about Malik Williams. Like you're hearing about all these guys, which means they're doing something right.
Is it too early to say that Whaley has been a disappointment?
He's not been a disappointment.
I've heard, in my opinion, I heard so many crazy things about Whaley. Now, mind you, under Bielema, they were splitting carries like 8 different ways.
Yes, and last year, for the simple fact that they couldn't run the ball because everybody knew that's what they were doing, and they didn't have a line that could block. I don't put any blame on anybody on our offense last year, really,
Injuries
except for
killed
the
us
coaches.
last year.
So who are the running backs we have right now?
Devwah Whaley,
Yeah,
T.J.
no.
Hammond, Chase Hayden, and
Chase Hayden, I remember that name.
T.J. Hammons
and-
is more running back /
and
receiver.
Rakeem
Though.
Boyd. King Boyd's a JUCO transfer. He was the number 2 running
Malik
back
Williams.
in the country.
Malik Williams is
number
up
2
there.
JUCO
Yeah,
running
Malik
back.
Williams. He was the number 2 JUCO running back in the nation last year.
Okay.
Yep.
He went to A&M and then got
Transferred.
in some trouble and transferred out.
Oh, let's hope he stays out of trouble. A&M, lots of people leave A&M. That's interesting. Lots of people.
It's not by mistake. But I love our running back room for sure. Like, that's probably our, other than our receivers and DBs, that's probably our strongest group. If not the strongest group. Because everybody there has experience and every one of them are talented. Well, the only one that really doesn't have experience yet is Malik Williams. He hadn't seen the field yet. But
could you imagine if, God bless his soul, Raleigh Williams wouldn't have got hurt?
man,
He would be a junior or senior right now.